the best incense fragrances. So, incense is not exactly the most popular note, but it is one of my favorites. There's my dog. Or a dog. Oh, here he comes. Incense. Guess I'll just stay there in the corner. I'm gonna start with one of the most incense fragrances that I can think of, which is Taboo from Dana. This is a very old fragrance in the 1930s, I believe 1932, and it is just super strong. It is actually, ironically, an eau de cologne, which is a very, a weak concentration of a fragrance, but it is not weak in how it smells. It is just super musky, super resinous. It has those incense notes, and it lasts forever. I mean, if it was marketed today, it would probably be classified as a men's fragrance just because of how heavy and intense it is. Back in the 30s, that type of fragrance was more common for women, so it doesn't really matter. But in general, if you want to go full incense, or at least, 99% incense, go for Taboo by Dana, because it is all the way there. And, big bonus, it's considered a drugstore fragrance now. It used to be quite luxurious. Considered a drugstore fragrance now, so it is very affordable. I got my bottle, I think, for $20, maybe even $15, but very affordable for the full bottle, and it will last forever. Now, going next to my favorite, actually, for incense, is Shalimar by Guerlain. So this is the smokiest fragrance I have yet smelled. I have the Eau de Parfum. I haven't really tried the other versions yet, but at least the Eau de Parfum is super smoky. I always like to describe it as like a frankincense type of incense, but there is no actual frankincense in it. It just smells that way. Mainly because it's very resinous. There are some amber notes in there, some other resins, mixed with musk and spices. It's meant to be very exotic. And that sort of thing. But that smoke note really comes through all the way, all the time. It opens actually with a citrus opening. There's some orange in there, I believe there's some lemon and bergamot. But once it dries down, even just for a minute, you get that full blast of smoke. It is very intense. Again, it's one of those vintage style 1920s heavier women's type of fragrance. Not exactly what is considered popular these days, but as an incense fragrance, has a smoky type of fragrance. Very, very nice. And it will last, again, forever. Those types of heavy notes will just naturally last a long time. So longevity just through the roof, 8 hours minimum, I would say. So, you can go all out with Shalimar. Plus it has a very nice vanilla note to smooth it all out, so it's not too crazy. Now, going on to one that's not technically considered incense, but it's still pretty incensey, which is Tobacco Color from Dior. This is a unisex scent. I have to mention it. I love Tobacco Color. So it is obviously a tobacco fragrance, but the smokiness kind of gives more of an incense vibe than a tobacco vibe, I would say. At least in my opinion. But it is very nice. Now, it is unisex, leaning a bit more on the masculine side, but I still say that it is pretty firmly still in the middle there for unisex. But really nice, really strong, smoky scent. It is kind of more of a sort of pure scent in terms of its smokiness. Like, it has that smokiness and not too many other notes get in the way, kind of focused on its path. So if you're looking for something really smoky, like a purist type of smokiness, Tobacco Color is a very good choice. Like I said, and it's very cozy as well, very good for cold weather. So if you're in a cold place, and at the moment most of the world is pretty cold, you can go for Tobacco Color and you'll be warmed up a little bit. Now, going on from that, I would say Serge Lutens' Amber Sultan. That is a very resinous, smoky type of fragrance. And again, I don't think it's officially an incense fragrance, but I swear it smells very much like incense, very much in the same realm as Shalimar and Taboo and that sort of thing. again, it's one of those fragrances, actually. It reminds me of frankincense again. You know, if you smelled frankincense at a church or something, you know, it has that very deep, resinous smokiness. And Ambre Sultan certainly has that smell to it. It has amber, it has myrrh, and it has some other general resins it doesn't go into too much detail about, but it is a very dry, warm type of fragrance. There's no sweetness in it at all. There's not that many notes, really. It's just all resins for the most part. So you're getting a very balsamic, resinous, smoky type of scent there. Now the next one I do have to mention is Full Incense from Montal. So this, I mean, it is in the name, Full Incense, so you don't really need too much more of an explanation, but I will explain a little bit. It's just a very well put together incense fragrance. There's not that many notes in it. You got some of the balsams, you got some of the resins, put them together, you get this really beautiful type of incense fragrance. It does it really well. If you wanna, maybe you don't want to wear a vintage fragrance like Shalimar or Taboo, maybe you don't want to wear something as dry and bold as Ambre Sultan, maybe you want something more like this Montal fragrance. And in that case, it is really good. Focusing purely on that incense note, it's really good. I personally love anything that has to do with incense. I think pretty much all incense. I haven't come across any incense that I dislike the smell of. And this one just really goes all out with its incensiness. Plus it's very strong. You could expect it to be very strong with that type of heavy notes that it has. But as a whole, I would say it's very well rounded for being an incense fragrance, especially such a pure incense fragrance, because you have to do it in a particular way so it's not too harsh or it has a weird smoke smell, like stale smoke, you know, that sort of thing. So it does it pretty well, I would say. And again, the bonuses of being long-lasting, good projection, and just in general, a unique type of fragrance. But that is pretty much all I have to say about these particular incense fragrances. So these are the ones that I think kind of embody that particular scent the best, you know, most realistically, I suppose. But if you enjoyed this video, of course, you can always leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.